Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7 out today. Got some more balance adjustment showcases for you guys. This time around, we're going to be taking a look at my favorite unit in the entire game, guys. Faithless Lidica here. Finally getting a buff that she deserves, no longer overshadowed by her RGB self, and we're here with a fully triple S Faithless Lidica for effectiveness. We have plus 15 on her skills here, which you technically don't really need. You only really need plus 3 on the skill 3, plus 4 on the skill 2, and then a plus 4 on the skill 1 if you're conserving Molagoras. But this is the build that I'm opting to go for with my Faithless Lidica. She is currently about 304 speed. Could be a little bit faster, but I didn't get a max roll on my exclusive equipment here. Sadly enough, we're 1 speed short, and I'm currently running her on Gifted Pen, which does increase her effectiveness by a little bit more. She's going to be about 210 effectiveness with this, actually, pretty cool. And whenever she uses her skill 3, now we get to increase the combat readiness of the ally in the back row by an additional 22.5%. Keep in mind, her skill 3 already increases your combat readiness by 25% for the team, so this is even better. A huge push for whoever's in the back line, and essentially you can have a base speed unit almost get pushed up all the way to the front lines. That's how good that is. So yeah, we're currently rocking pretty sick gear here. The weapon could be a bit faster, could be in the 20s for the speed, but didn't manage to get lucky and get one of those. Just recently got this weapon here, and recently got this weird weakening piece too, so 22 speed there, 23 on the chest, 23 on the necklace, 21 on the ring, and then of course speed boots. But you can see her low base speed definitely hurts here. The fastest Faithless Lidica I think I can make with the fastest gear that I have on my account is only 312 speed, which is not really all that much in the grand scheme of things with RNL and Rinnock and other really fast units out there. So yeah. Faithless Lidica, though, will do her job here. In case you didn't know what she did, with her skill 1, with her EE, now she triggers a dual attack from a random ally. It's unfortunate that it's random and not the highest attack unit, but still will deal a decent chunk of damage if you land that 75% chance to defense break there. Her skill 2 now dispels 2 buffs instead of 1, and now you inflict Laceration for 2 turns. Laceration basically changes all the damage that you do into injury. Right? So there's no limit on this. Most skills that inflict injury like cap you out at like 10, 15, or 20% of the, your opponent's max health at a time. This has no limit here, which is really, really cool. And it also increases the damage that the units take, right? So you'll deal more damage alongside of them taking injury, which is great. And then you also grant an extra turn now instead of gaining combat readiness, which means, Lady of the Scales and other units like that cannot cut you anymore. And then speaking of Lady of the Scales and units that can potentially cause issues, your skill 3 resets your opponent's cooldowns fully. You grant a skill nullifier to everybody on your team, and then you push everyone up by 25% combat readiness. And the additional effect now that we get is that it grants stealth to the caster for 3 turns, which is really, really good. The other thing is that you can soul burn this with only 10 souls to ignore effect resistance, which means she can work with a lot of artifacts on rangers that just provide like 10 free souls, for example, like Ludwig's artifact, right? But yeah, let's go ahead and take her out for a spin to see how she does now after these buffs. Okay guys, this is going to be our first ever showcase of Faithless Lidica here. First time I'm using her post buffs as well. And what we're doing is we're going to this Lady of the Scales team, right? There's a Notos on the other side, Arbiter Vildred, Perfume Bibulus, all that good stuff. Some tanky shenanigans, right? Now, Faithless Lidica does have the ability to do quite a bit of control on your opponent, especially with a unit like Notos on the other side. But what we're going to do here is try to utilize her to control this Lady of the Scales. So Commander Pavel can just kind of come in. Him and Hecate together should be able to take care of Arbiter Vildred and Notos, no problem. But yeah, Faithless Lidica, we'll try to showcase her against Notos and other problematic like cooldown units in other matches, but I think in this one here, we should be good with just focusing on the Lady of the Scales. Now we have over 200 effectiveness, and I know my opponent has immunity, so let's go ahead and skill 2. Let's see what happens. This also cannot trigger a counterattack like I mentioned earlier, which means Arbiter Vildred not going to be a problem here. There we go. We do hit the laceration on this Notos, which is great. If anything, that's the one unit you want to land it on, but I don't trust my Faithless Lidica in landing this without getting 15%ed, so why don't we go ahead and hit this Lady of the Scales and reset her skills completely, right? Let's go for this. What this will do is this will give everybody a skill nullifier. It's also going to push up my team, mainly Hakati in the back line. She's going to get pushed up a ton of combat readiness, right? And look at that, guys. Look at the Commander Pavel coming in, dealing so much damage. Unfortunately, my opponent is going to cleanse there. That's okay, though. It's good to get Bibulus out of the way, and now let's go for this Notos here. We should be able to deal a ton of damage. This is why I'm building my Faithless Lidica on crit still. You don't have to build her on crit rate anymore. Oh, well, there goes my there goes my Commander Pavel. You don't have to build her on crit anymore, but decide to go for it anyway, because she enables units like Commander Pavel, because she takes that extra turn, much like RNL, right? Much like Fire Lidica and all of his other units too. So the skill nullifier saving us here, pretty good stuff. Now, the problem is this Arbiter Vildred is a little bit of an issue. Should be okay though if I just take him out here. My Koli should be able to lap the Notos. We should be able to take him out. We'll see what happens. There we go. Take out the Arbiter Vildred, and now we can focus down this Notos. You can run things like, oh, well, I didn't expect a dual attack there. Koli was supposed to do that. One thing with Faithless Lidica now is that she does have stealth for 3 turns, which is wonderful, especially coupled with the skill nullifier. You can't be hit out of that stealth really easily. But one thing to keep in mind is that you might still want to consider running Guiding Light, because units like Zeo, units like RNL and stuff, if you don't have a Boss Arunka to help protect your Faithless Lidica, she's still going to be really easy target for these like faster base speed units. So while Guiding Light might seem like a waste, it could be an option for her to keep her safe, to guarantee that you're still going to take that turn. Okay guys, let's try the same team again, but this time around let's hope to not get 15%ed as much as we did in the previous round. You guys, I don't think you noticed, but Laceration only landed on 1 unit, and then we ended up not really hitting anything on our Koli either with her skill 3. So let's go ahead and jump into this one. I know there's a Setsuka there, which means we have a 30% chance of just outright missing our attacks. But hey, let's give this a shot. Commander Pavel is here as well to help us with some more damage. We're probably going to go down to the Perfumer Bibulus again. Oh! Guys, look at that there. We ended up not really doing much of anything. That's going to be a bit of a problem with this Lady of the Scales here. Because, yeah, look, all 3 units still have their immunity. This is why people really wanted Faithless Lidica to have some sort of an additional hit chance on her attacks. Even if you put a hit chance artifact on, 20% doesn't fully nullify Setsuka's 30% that she gives her team. So that's really unfortunate. Now, there is a chance for me to miss this attack here, which is gonna suck. This also doesn't strip anything, so all we're really doing here is getting skill cooldowns, a skill nullifier, and stealth. Unfortunately, no resetting of anybody on my opponent's side, but let's go ahead and just do this anyway. Even if they push up my opponent's Perfumer Bibulus, we should be okay, right? Because Setsuka and Notos are both relatively slow. There we go. Oh my god, Notos resisted the Koli as well there. 250 effectiveness, for those of you guys who are wondering how much effectiveness my units are running here. Let's go for a skill 3. Let's see if we can actually stun anything. We do have a swift attack buff on ourselves, so hopefully that helps a little bit. Oh, there we go. Yes, now we're compensating for what happened earlier. But unfortunately, my opponent gets to just fully cleanse everything. All right. Commander Pavel goes in, takes out the Notos, which is wonderful. If I can take out the Setsuka, that would be absolutely amazing. However, I think it's best for me to kind of play it safe here, right? Let's go for... But Bibulus is not going next. I think we have to take care of the Lady of the Scales. If I take care of Lady of the Scales here... Ooh, or should I just go for the Setsuka? I think it's probably best to go for the Setsuka, right? Let's just soul burn this, go straight for the Setsuka, because we do have the extra hit chance. Oh, there we go. Beautiful stuff. Good job, Commander Pavel. That's what I'm talking about. Extinction, and Hecate gets to come in, and we should just be able to take out... Oh, let's go ahead and just focus down the Lady of the Scales. Guarantee this kill, one less unit to deal with, and then we can take out the Perfume Bibulus. So that was kind of like the worst case scenario here with Faithless Lidica. We're lucky that we got like a couple crits in so that we were able to proc the Commander Pavel, but oh my goodness guys, that was so unfortunate, right? With my opponent just dodging everything with Setsuka. So yeah, maybe consider a hit chance artifact, or maybe consider just bringing Xeno on your team to help like lower the evasion on the opponent's side. Jumping into another match over here, we have quite an aggressive team on the other side. RNL kind of leading the charge. We have Ludwig that is going to bridge with the RNL, RB for damage, and Bossarunka for everyone to kind of hide behind. Now what we're going to do is bring in a Zeo, and the Zeo is going to allow us to go before this RNL on the opponent's side, and hopefully my Fumir gets to bridge up and jump up in combat readiness, right? With her skill 2, she should be able to use a non-attack skill. There's a lot of evasion on the other side, but her skill 2 should push back my opponent's team, giving a little bit of breathing room for my Faithless Lidica to come in and kind of push everybody up, right? She's gonna skill 2, she's gonna skill 3, and then that skill 3 is gonna push up our Elvira. Now Elvira, as a damage dealer here, should be able to take care of all this evasion shenanigans on the other side, and by banishing the Bossarunka with the Fumir, we can directly target the Ludwig, deal a ton of damage, and then hopefully land a bunch of curses on the opponent, along with lacerations, right? To deal extra damage to see if we can clean things up. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump in, see how clean this one plays out. We do jump up with the Fumir, which is fantastic. I don't actually need to Soulburn here with the Zeo. I'm just going to skill 3. There's actually no reason for me to Soulburn this because Bossarunka is going to go bye-bye anyway, and if she counters, we're all good. She's on Bastion of Hope, that is fine, because Fumir doesn't care about effect resistance. So we're gonna go ahead and skill 2. We only push back the RNL. Wow, I guess everybody on my opponent's teams these days are all just resistance units, right? 400 effect resistance on everyone on arena defense. Okay, gonna banish the Bossarunka to the Shadow Realm. She's no longer there. So now let's go for a skill 2. There we go. Got some lacerations, pretty nice. Let's go for a little skill 3 action on the one unit that can't evade us here. This is going to increase his skill cooldown to max, which is great. And then we get to go with Elvira. So now let's go in onto this Ludwig. Hopefully we put the curse on the entire enemy team. That'd be amazing. There we go, we do. And so hopefully we deal enough damage here so that the Arbiter Vildred goes down. And the reason I love Lidica is because she used to be like the OG counter to Arbiter Vildred. Just look at this. He revives, he skill 3s, and there's absolutely 0 damage. Now, of course, decreased hit chance kind of sucks, but Lidica gets to keep her stealth, which is absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and attack the RB now. And, well, that... Actually, I was kind of expecting the extra attack, but... Hey, I'll take it, though. That was pretty clean. Well, look what we have here. Another Lady of the Scales and Noto's team for us to fight. How creative. But what we have going on is a really fun team that I kind of learned from a guildmate that they used in Guild War Offense, and it's pairing Young Senya with Saria, because Young Senya actually does take an extra turn when you're hit by Harseti, and Saria will then be able to get pushed up by the Young Senya. She'll be able to skill 3, get her full focus, and then just aerial bombardment everybody, right? Flip the bird against the opponent, and you should be in a really good position. Now, in this case, I don't know who is going to be in the front line here, but I'm hoping that we get to proc their immortality and all that good stuff, and hopefully Lidica can come in and then dispel those immortalities on whoever's on the front line, and then hopefully we can reset the Notos too. In this case, we don't actually have to target the Lady of the Scales, and we can see Lidica in action against a team that's technically supposed to be just inevitable Notos Turbo, right? Notos is supposed to just go, and then you can't do anything about it. So with the randomized speed RNG and stuff too, we see that it's not looking quite good. There's somebody else who's supposed to go before the Faithless Lidica there on the combat readiness bar, but Young Senya coming in for that S2. Look at that Lady of the Scales in the front line here. And we should be able to push up in combat readiness, so that will be very, very nice. Let's go for the cleanse here. go for the push. I know there's a Lady of the Scales, but we still take the turn. We'll go for a skill 3. And this should allow Saria to just absolutely decimate, right, the other team. So we are on otherworldly machinery, which ignores damage sharing, so we still do a ton of damage to everybody, right, even though Lady of the Scales is there, and that's okay. She is going to try to push up the team. Notos cannot be pushed up, which is another major thing to keep in mind here, so we don't really care about the Estelle and all that stuff going. Our whole team is invincible, and Faithless Lidica will be guaranteed to take a turn here, so yeah, because Lady of the Scales took a turn before Lidica, it's fine. We just have to skill 2. This will actually take care of the Lady of the Scales. We do get Laceration, and watch this, guys, because Notos is technically inevitable. Let's go for that skill 3. The only way that he can, well, win now is if he 15%s this, which he doesn't. 7-turn increase right there on that Notos. And so, guys, you know what we're going to do. We're just going to go straight for the S3 into this Estelle here. Curse on everybody else. This is going to hurt because Laceration's going to do so much damage. Look at that, guys. What a clean sweep for a speed team, by the way, against a Harsetti Notos comp. So what do you do in these situations where your opponents have a faster unit than you, right? Well, 2 things. 1, you can actually switch your Faithless Lidica over to Guiding Light so that you can't be hit by the single target attacks from things like Zeo. But what if there's something like RNL that has a single target attack and an AoE? Well, gets a little tricky in that case. In this case, I'm gonna go ahead and put Bosmerunga in the front line here so she tanks all the hits from the RNL, so we don't have to worry about it. My Lidica is still on Guiding Light, though, because when RNL comes and does her skill 3, it's gonna do a ton of damage. Damage that I can't really tank because my Lidica's on a crit necklace, so the stealth actually halves the amount of damage that we take from the AoE, which means we will survive. The only problem is probably going to get fear on us, right? But the good thing is, with something like a Nurse Yoha on your team, Nurse Yoha will guarantee that you cleanse a debuff whenever you take a turn. So Lidica here will be able to cleanse, and now we can come in with a skill 2. Thankfully, we hit that Notos. We actually somehow hit the Setsuka too, but let's go ahead and gamble a little bit, right? Let's go for the skill 3. We have to land this on the Notos, otherwise we are absolutely screwed, because then he can just pop a skill 3 and we're done for. So thankfully we do land, right? Setsuka adding, well, Setsuka adding some RNG, but I guess 210 effectiveness, Lidica not enough, because Notos 15%s us. We didn't have enough souls to soul burn there, so that is quite unfortunate. Looks like we're just gonna have to go for a skill 3 here. Onto the Notos. We're not gonna be able to deal enough damage at this rate, so unfortunately, not gonna be too great for us. The good thing is, though, with the Laceration there, look at how much injury is on this Notos, to the point where Notos is probably not gonna be able to do anything, right, anymore in terms of fighting us. But we still want to try to get rid of this Notos, though, so I am gonna try to get rid of him by boosting up my Elvira. And now Elvira is able to deal extra damage now. She does have a seal, but she now has extra damage. So I'm going to go ahead and actually seal this Setsuka here. There we go. She is going to counter us, unfortunately, but it's okay. We do get to heal a little bit with this extra attack. Boom. Laceration makes us deal extra damage. Unfortunately, though, that does proc the Perfume Bibulus. She did have the immunity, which means we couldn't really do anything about her. We are going to go in for the Setsuka, though, because getting rid of her before this Notos cleanses is going to be absolutely amazing for us. Let's go for that. Boom. Very nice. Unfortunately, we get provoked here. Is our Elvira fast enough to lap around the Notos, though? I'm hoping that we are. I'm hoping that we are. We are. Okay, very cool. So I can actually come in here, potentially seal my opponent, and then try to deal some more damage. It's either that or we go for the Setsuka directly. I think we'll just go and seal the Bibulus. Right, there we go. That's a lot of damage here. Extra hit, defense broken Setsuka. Oh, we actually don't manage to finish her off. That's okay, though. So, with everything cleansed, we are going to go ahead and attack the Setsuka there. We finish her off. And now, Notos, while he is under the effects of his God of Battle, we do have to keep in mind that, he is a little weaker now. He has half of his HP bar as injury, right? So he cannot really deal all that much damage to us here. It's still going to be a ton of damage, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not going to be as bad. The unfortunate thing, though, is that Elvira loses her unique buff here, and we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. See, look, Notos' skill 2 can't even kill the Nurse Yoha. We are on Proof of Valor, yes, but keep in mind that we are, yeah, we have kind of injured him down to the point where he's not really a huge threat. So this does buy us time, which means if you are fighting a Notos and you fail to finish him off, for example, you do still have time. You still can wait things out a little bit. Unfortunately, Notos goes after the Elvira here. Nothing we can do about that. Boom, she goes down. But now it's just Lidica and Bossarunka here. But don't worry, because Lidica now can, well, first of all, we can try to reset the Notos. I don't think we need to do it right now. I think I'll just go for the skill 3. I mean, he can't 15% us twice, right? All this could have been avoided if he didn't 15% us, but I guess why not show you guys like the worst case scenarios. Here's the thing, with his laceration, we deal extra damage, and Lidica has a decreased defense on her skill 1 with a dual attack. Because Bossarunka's the only unit on our side, he's gonna resist. I guess he's gonna resist the defense breaks here. It's not like Lidica has 210 effectiveness or anything like that. No. Oh, Bossarunka can also defense break, as you can see, with 0 effectiveness, so 15% in full force here. But you can see, Lidica still does quite a bit of damage over time, especially if you build her with a crit necklace. So even in the worst case scenario, you can kind of edge out a win. A little risky. Definitely go into Soulburn if you can, though. This is a rare occurrence, so we're going to take advantage of it to showcase a more fast play style, right, against a really defensive turn 2 tank down teams. We have Disciplinary Prefect Arya on the other side, doubling the cost of our Soulburns, by the way. Not an issue because Rangers now have the All-Bad Orb, which gives us 10 souls at the start of battle. Shepherd the Dark Dien is carrying Tagal's Ancient Book, which is 20 souls, and then we also have Tactical Archetype Koli with their own artifact that gives 10 souls as well. So this is really good. We have 40 souls. Lidica only needs 10 to soulburn, double the cost, and it's 20. So we do get a soulburn for 20 souls, and then this should push up our Shepherd of the Dark Dien so we can seal everyone on the opponent's side. We have multiple chances to strip our opponents, by the way, of their immunity buff. We have Tactical Archetype Koli with 250 effectiveness, Lidica with 210 effectiveness, and we also have Shepherd the Dark Dien's passive, although I don't think that one's going to matter too much against my opponent here. Alright, let's see if we can actually strip our opponents of their buffs. Skill 2, no counterattacks, and nothing. Alright, very cool, very cool. Let's go for a skill 3 then. Oh, this is quite unfortunate. Alright, go for the skill 3. We do Soulburn, so we do get to fully reset this Bossarunka. She's gonna, wow, she's gonna resist there too. That is crazy stuff. Thankfully, we get to ignore Effect Res here on the 2 units that don't have immunity. Don't know how we didn't strip the Perfume Ambivalus too, but alright then. Now, Koli gets to come in. Now, because the Arya's sealed, she doesn't give everyone else that extra little bit of resistance. Maybe that'll help us here. I don't know. We're going to go for the skill 3 regardless and see if we can stun anybody. Maybe put some bombs. There we go. Very nice. Full team stunned. And now we have Elvira that can come in and do some shenanigans. Let's go and put Curse on everyone as well. Elvira, by the way, about 200 something effectiveness of her own because effect resistance is a joke in this game, and there you go, guys. Down goes the Perfume Ambivalus, which is huge. This also gives me that random dual attack. Very nice and beautiful cleanup there. And at this point, I think we could come in here and take out this. Do we want to take out this R-Wall? Let's go for the R-Wall anyway. Right? I don't want to hit the Disciplinary Prefect Arya and get a bunch of reflect damage on us because she still has 5 stacks of Lingering Fragrance here. Let's go for the Arwell. Let's go ahead and Soulburn this. Boom. Get those bleeds. Boom. And we should be able to finish her off with this attack here. There you go. Extra attack coming in onto the Arya. But at this point, we pretty much have things under control, if you know what I'm saying here. Still resisting our defense breaks. Kind of wild, but it's okay. Let's go for that. Another skill 1. So many dual attacks with this team comp. Alright, there we go. Inflicting the seal. Can we get the kill with Lidica here? Let's see. Going for the skill 3. Let's go ahead and soul burn this just in case, right? Just in case she survives this and somehow takes a turn. Let's go for that skill 3. And there you guys go. Pretty cool. When she's able to open up, fantastic things can happen. The only issue is she's relatively slow, so that's going to be really rare. So now that we've seen ourselves get 15%ed quite a bit with Faithless Lidica, we kind of understand why they put a reduced cost for the soul burn on the skill 3. And so moving forward, I think I'm going to keep her on the Abad Orb just to see if we can kind of make her work without any other kind of team support stuff. She does generate souls for the team here with the Abad Orb, but I kind of wanted to put her on like Renewed Will to push up your team with the skill 2 and the skill 3. It's kind of a nice little touch there. But unfortunately, don't think it's gonna be happening here just because I want that consistency with the skill 3. But she does seem pretty flexible with the type of artifact that you can run on her, which is a good thing to see. Now, we're going up against this Harsetti team. I'm gonna kind of run the same team I did earlier with the Saria and the young Senya, except this time around, I do have Hakati here to help prevent any revives. I don't know if these units, like 3 knights here, are potentially on Holy Sacrifice, right? So let's go ahead and just skill 3, get that attack buff going for us. That's going to be very nice. And let's flip the bird against our opponent. See how much damage we do here. Oh, that is a good amount of damage. Very, very nice. Yolha is able to pop that skill 3, but guess what? Yeah, that's right. Everybody is absolutely invincible here. Nothing that can be done. We could reset Notos with like Lidica here, but we could also just finish him off directly. I guess what we do is we could technically go for a skill 1, right? That'll finish off like the Mort and everything as well. I kind of don't want Mort to give a barrier to the team though, so I think the best thing to do is to hit the Mort here. Right, this will finish him off. There we go. The extra attack will finish off the Harsetti. We do get our speed back for the team. Lidica gets to go. We get to skill 2 here. And as long as we strip the immunity off the Notos, we should be fine. Very nice laceration. Let's go ahead and reset the Notos so he cannot do anything. This used to be one of Faithless Lidica's strengths, right? Against things like Dark Corvus and stuff, you could fully reset his cooldowns, and you lap your opponent so fast that there's no way this Notos will ever get out of his cooldowns either. So that's also a really good thing here. Dual attack with like the worst unit to dual attack with, but I guess that's what happens if you have random dual attacks here. Could have dual attacked with the Saria, but no, I guess we, we gotta nerf Faithless Lidica somehow, as if she wasn't bad enough. Let's go ahead and finish off the Yolha here, and there you go. So again, Lidica has her uses. Pretty cool stuff, even against these Harsetti teams. As long as you can kind of cheese it a little bit with some other support units, she can still lock down a unit for a good while. Let's go ahead and try for another aggressive approach here with Faithless Lidica and Tactical Archetype Koli giving me that speed imprint. I don't know how fast the Hellion Lua is on defense, but I'm a little bit scared. I'm just a little bit scared of her right now. We also have a Salome here as well to help us out. We're going to try to copy our Fern and try to nuke down our opponent, who does have evasion in the form of Bellona, but if we can get rid of all Bellona's friends, then it should decrease her evasion up to the point where we can handle her. We'll see. We'll see especially what Koli ends up doing, or if we even take first turn here, we might get outsped. We actually don't. That is really good. Now, the cool thing about Faithless Lidica is that against units like Hellion Lua or any other unit that can start with stealth, your skill 2 is a great way to dispel that, and it's a really safe way of doing so as well, right? The unfortunate thing is, the opponent here, in this case, Bellona is going to be able to get her skill 2 off against the Fighting Spirit, which really sucks, but I am going to just pop the skill 3. This will give us a skill nullifier, and we should be able to reset this Hellion Lua. That would be kinda nice. There we go. Reset that Hellion Lua. That's fantastic stuff. Unfortunately, every time we hit her, it pushes up the opponent's team. So my opponent is jumping up quite a bit in combat readiness, quite nasty. But if I can come in here and maybe, you know, get some bombs going, get some stuns going, that would be some fantastic stuff. Actually, we managed to hit the Bologna, which is kind of wild. Hellion Lua didn't get bombed there, but it's fine because she actually doesn't really do anything. So now we can go and just have some fun here. Copy our Fern. This is going to be some good stuff, guys. And we can come in here and basically nuke whoever we want. So I think the best option here is to probably nuke the Bellion. But it's really tempting to go for the Bologna too. I think I might just go for the Bologna, just finish her off here. Biblis has two stacks of Veritas right now, so she needs a third. There we go. Look at that, guys. Beautiful damage. And yes, I know Bologna's going to attack us, but hopefully Fern dodges, and hopefully Fern allows us to counterattack a little bit. There we go with Riposte set. Very nice. And look at that injury that's being inflicted right now on that Bellion. That's fantastic stuff. Let's get rid of the Hellion Lua first. Right, there we go. Get some bleeds there, very nice. Some dual attacks. Unfortunately, not with the highest attack ally, though, which really is a bummer, because then you could use some really cool interactions with stuff like Fern. But, yeah, let's go ahead and just, let's finish off the Bellion so there's no threat of my opponent winning against us here. There we go, easy peasy Fern, good job. And Salome, though, thankfully does dual attack with the ally with the highest attack, so Fern on my side, being able to dual attack here is beautiful. Unfortunately, my opponent is going to get a skill 3 off. It shouldn't really matter, though. Salome is going to be safe, even if this takes out Fern, which it doesn't, thankfully. Ah, there we go, nice little dual attack there from the Faithless Lidica. Of course, not random. Well, it is with a random ally, but it's not like a random proc, right? Not like a 3% trigger. I do have to get used to that. So what do you guys think of Faithless Lidica after seeing that little showcase there of what she can do in Arena? Do you think she brings enough to the table after her buffs, or do we think she's still a little lackluster? Personally, looking at Briarwitch Assyria, who carries the same star sign as her, by the way, a Gemini, and with the same base speed stats, and a 10-speed EE, I still think Briarwitch Assyria seems to bring a little bit more to the table. She does have that AoE defense break on the skill 3, and she has a passive that prevents revives. Now, although it does affect both players, it's still really strong against things that have Holy Sacrifice, Arbor of Vildreds, for example, and all that good stuff. And you can run Briarwitch on Renewed Will, so you can push up your team by 15% combat readiness, which isn't as much of Lidica's skill 3, but I still think it offers just overall a nicer package, right? Faithless Lidica has the skill set of someone who wants to take first turn really, really badly, right? Dispelling 2 buffs, also a little bit limiting, right? 2 buffs, not dispelling all buffs, but dispelling 2 buffs, getting rid of immunity, and kind of resetting the skill of a crucial unit on your opponent's side. She isn't going to be useless, though. I want to throw that out there. I just feel like she could use a little bit more. The only issue is that she struggles against evasion units pretty badly. You can't strip their immunities, by the way, and then you also can't reset the skills of those units too. But she is going to be very strong into slower teams. She kind of nullifies people who are trying to play like a tank down style, right? The skill nullifiers are really powerful too for the entire team, especially because you can blanket protect everyone from an AoE like Arbor of Vildred skill 3, or you can even protect against your opponent for multiple turns if your opponent's only running like a single target damage dealer, and if your speed tuning's correct, right? You can stop them from, like a Tori, for example, from annihilating a unit straight out the gate. So yeah, I feel like Faithless Lidica is going to be very nice in certain situations. Unfortunately, not someone I can pick all the time, but let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and let me know what you guys think of this video series and whether or not we should continue this for future balance patch updates. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.